This is a short film from ARK. It is about how you should read the report from the questionnaire, which is a part of an ARK implementation. The first page of the report looks like this. It says who the report applies to and an agenda. The report is a PowerPoint and is divided in 3 parts. First, there is a short introduction about the work environment and work environment work. Then, there will be the report from the survey. At the end, there will be slides that form a direction for the meetings all employees are to be invited to complete the survey. The first and last parts are tailored for their institution. These parts can also be tailored for your entity. It comes with a script. You will find it if you open the report in the Node page view. Now, we will look at the part of the report that shows the reporting from the survey. There will first be some facts about the survey: invitation date, number of people invited, and the response rates at the overall level. In the next picture, the response rate for your own unit is compared to any previous implementations. The results from the survey are presented in such bar paragraphs. The end point of the bar is the average of what everyone at the unit has answered. The answer options are from 1 to 5, and they are defined with 3 different extremes in the questionnaire: from strongly disagree to strongly agree, from to a very small extent to a very large extent, or very rarely to very often. In the questionnaire, groups of questions have been used that collectively examine one theoretically defined topic, so-called psychometric meshes. These are presented in blue bars. When single questions are used, the bar is turquoise. The lighter bar behind shows the average of the unit above. If you are at a department, the lighter pillar is behind the faculty. The top of the column is also shown in the number to the right of the column. The black line shows a standard deviation or average deviation from the mean. When the standard deviation is calculated, the starting point is that the answers have been normally distributed. They usually have it when there are more than 100 answers. When there is fewer answers, we cannot assume that the distribution is like this. Then, this line is only an expression of whether employees at the unit have answered quite similarly when the line is short or quite different when the line is long. The standard deviation is also shown in the number in parentheses to the right of the average value. When the numbers have been calculated, they have been coded so that a large volume that extends far to the right is mainly to be calculated as a desired result. There is up to the individual unit to decide what is considered good enough. It must be interpreted in the local context together with all employees. There are 6 thematic areas that are mapped in the questionnaire. The first 2 pictures with a bar chart shows the average experience of conditions that concern the individual at the job. The first picture shows important positive factors that contribute to employees' well-being and delivers good work. These positive factors can help one to tolerate the more negative conditions, which appears better in the next picture. Here, it is the absence of the negative that is shown at the end point of the column. Minus plus minus becomes plus. Here, we have done a calculation exercise to take care of the logic that a large column is the desired result. The second is the relationship around interaction managers and employees. The questionnaire refers to the management. The question can therefore point to more than one person. In our sector, leadership is exercised in many different contexts and may find it difficult to have only one person in mind when answering these questions. Management is exercised by different people in different parts of all the work that takes place. For example, administrative management, research management, and teaching management are exercised. The third thematic area is communication and participation. These questions examine whether employees experience the opportunity to be informed about and participate in decision-making processes. The fourth theme is about cooperation and community. Here, there is two pictures. The first one shows how employees experience positive conditions linked to collegial and professional community. The second points to conditions that can affect a work environment in a negative way. Here it is the absence of the negative that gives a high score. The fifth thematic is about handling unfortunate events. ARK is not an alert channel, but we examine whether employees experience that unfortunate cases are raised with those concerned and when they arise. We also examine whether employees know what they are supposed to do with an unacceptable behavior and whether guidelines exist. The sixth and last thematic is about issues around support, interaction, and culture. Here, employees have answered whether they experience that they are given the support and training they need. The focus is on new technology, new systems, technical and administrative support, and the interaction between technical, administrative, and scientific personnel. In addition, there are questions that examine whether employees experience that there are culture of continuous development and belonging to the institution. Summary. To make it easier for you to form an overview, we have put all the blue bars with some validated goals into this pie chart. They are in the same order as in the previous review. We have added colors so that the 5 theme areas that are produced can be more easily distinguished from each other. Answer option 1 is in the center of the circle, 5 at the far end. The darkest and thickest line is its own unit. The slightly thinner and lighter lines are the 2 closest overarching organizational levels. Comparison over time over unit. Here, average values are presented for the implementations that made at your institution. If one goes further back in time than 2019, there will be shortcomings in the basis of comparison. This is because the questionnaire underwent a major revision in 2018-19. Work hours in a normal week. Here, 2 different questions are asked to technical, administrative staff and scientific staff. Employees with fixed working hours or flexible working agreements were asked about how many hours per week they worked beyond the agreed working hours and hours that can be taken off. Employees in particularly independent position was asked about how many hours do you usually work per week beyond what you think is reasonable for your position. In the diagram, the numbers are merged and it is the percentage of everyone who has answered at the unit that is shown in the 4 different groupings. Employee review. Here, the participants answered whether they have had an employee review in the last 12 months and how they assessed the usefulness of this review. Answer option 1 is waste of time and 5 well spent time. The black vertical bar in the chart shows 1 standard deviation in each direction. Finally, after all the slides have been presented, you will work together in groups to find out what is important to preserve and develop in the future. Then it may be that you should also consider whether there are more and other factors than those that are highlighted in the survey you should include. And remember, everyone has knowledge that this is important. Be open to use of others. Ask clarifying questions and seek common understanding. Good luck with the work environment work.